Hey, Thirst for Knowledge. So today I want to talk about how do you determine if the competitive Magic scene is right for you. So just like most players, like you'll start off learning about the game from either from some friends, watching it, watching players play Magic at a store, or in my case, I saw a lot of people in high school actually start to play it. I actually ran to Magic because I was playing Pokemon when I was younger, and I put my money in the wrong slot of the vending machine, and I got these Magic cards out instead of Pokemon cards. I remember being very confused. Like I was like, "What the hell is this? Like these aren't Pokemon cards." I kind of felt gypped, and then 5 years later at high school, I remember there were some kids playing it, and I remember asking them, what I used to play I used to play Pokemon. Like, what's this game about? And I kind of got into it that way. But most people who start out as a casual player, you probably heard the term tabletop magic or kitchen table magic thrown about. So when you play very casually, you just open packs or buy cards, and you just put together any random assortment of cards. You don't really care about what format. So like you can be playing very old cards with very new cards, but your opponents can be playing any mix of cards. And that's like probably like the first level of Magic playing. It's like very casual kind of Magic. Now, to determine if you want to go from that to something more competitive, the first thing I would ask you is, have you checked out your local gaming store? So LGS, local gaming store. There should be a ton of them in your area. If not, you can go on the Wizards website and you're able to actually find which of the LGSs are closest to you. Find out if they run weekly tournaments. Most of them run what's called Friday Night Magic. So every Friday night, usually around 5 or 6 o'clock, they'll run like a 3 to 4 round event. Sometimes it's constructed, sometimes it is draft, and if you win those, you get promotional foils, and you also get like store credit or cash or packs depending on the store. Now, that is probably the second level, second tier tournaments like the FNMs. I know that when I used to play locally, a lot of casual players would show up on Friday to try to get their fix, to try to see if they want to play competitive Magic. And this is like a great first step to figure out if you like playing competitive Magic, because there's a little more rules that are enforced, and you're playing for a tiny bit of money, a tiny bit of prize, so there is something on the line. People aren't letting you just take back everything you want. I remember there are a lot of casual players who play it still, so they kind of expected to let them take it back. And depending on who they were or how many times I've previously let them take back moves, I would let that happen. But it's a good barometer to determine, is this the right competitive scene for me? And then beyond that, what you can start doing is you can start going to what's called a PPTQ, which are these like preliminary Pro Tour qualifiers. Not really to get to the Pro Tour, but they're like the next level of competition. So after FNM, you want to start playing in those. There's also like, depending on where you live, if you live in the US, there's what's called the Star City Games Opens, which are probably the same level of competition. Or in Canada, it's called the face-to-face or mana-deprived open. One step higher than that is a Grand Prix. Grand Prix are actually so much fun because even if you're a casual player, you can play your side draft. You can play like, mini FNMs like all over the place. At the same time, you can play a main event. You can play in, ways to qualify for the Pro Tour. They have individually slotted so individually slotted Pro Tour qualifiers. So in this case, you can actually gain an invitation to the Pro Tour. But there's huge conventions. You get to meet artists. You get to meet all your favorite pros. I remember when I first started, I was so excited when the Grand Prix came to Toronto in 2005 because I had been playing like semi-casual, semi-competitive Magic, playing FNMs for about a year. And then the Grand Prix showed up, and I really wanted to play it. I remember being so super nervous. I made so many mistakes. I had players call judges on me because I was so nervous that like I had an opponent cast Vidalcan Dismisser, which is a 2/2 in the original Ravnica set that, for 6 mana, 5 in a blue, you put a creature on top of your deck. What happened was I was so nervous I just put it in my hand, and like it wasn't me trying to cheat, it was just I was so scared, like I was just super anxious and nervous because it was my first real competitive tournament. I remember my opponent called a judge, tried to accuse me of cheating, and like they could tell I was trying to cheat because I didn't even know what the hell I was doing. So so much fun to get into competitive Magic, but competitive Magic is not for everyone. So like I said, I'd start by trying the FNMs, seeing how you feel there. If you win a couple of those, start traveling to PPTQ, start playing in these like other like Wednesday tournaments, Monday tournaments. Look for slightly higher stake tournaments and finally get into opens, finally get into the Grand Prix circuit. The Grand Prix circuits is so much fun to play. There are so many players that I've seen grow up and move from casual player to FNM player to Grand Prix circuit player, and some of them made the Pro Tour. And like they talk about how they couldn't believe they made it to the Pro Tour. Now that they made the Pro Tour, like it's like the pinnacle of Magic, and that's where all the pros play. It is the furthest that I've ever played Magic, and it's the best tournament that I've ever played in. I can't talk enough about how much fun those are. Those are marathon events. They're like 8 rounds each day, and everyone that you play against, it's not an open event because Pro Tours are invite only. They've actually won something to get there, or top 8 at a Grand Prix, which is another huge accomplishment. So I hope that really helped you determine whether or not the competitive Magic scene is for you. If you have anything that you'd like me to talk about, make sure you leave a comment below. Make sure you hit subscribe so you get notifications when any of the videos go live. And also make sure you hit the thumbs up button so that it helps our videos get more exposure. Thanks a lot.